Hello, viewers. Once again, you welcome to my channel. I am Amukoo, and of course, today I will be discussing an issue that has to do with conflict. Because trust me, as a global citizen, as a human being who cares so much about humanity and who cares about life, I have this obligation to contribute on issues that are affecting other human beings all over the world. And so I thought it fit that I should give my contribution, my view. And if you are new to this channel, please kindly subscribe, comment, and smash that notification bell because we're going to grow this channel together. Peace. Yes, guys. So, as I said, my discourse today will be centered around conflict. And of course, we are all aware that there has been conflict going on all over the world, you know. And recently, a conflict erupted in Ukraine as a result of the Russian invasion. Sitting down quietly, I imagined, what is actually happening to humanity, because being a human being essentially means we've evolved to a stage that we should see ourselves as one, in the sense that every human being, regardless of the color, race, or creed, every human being uh, possess one thing in common. That is the spirit in you. And if we do not connect to that spirit, there is bound to be a conflict, because the spirit is what keeps us together. But when we deviate from the spirit in us and we identify ourselves with this physical entity we call the body, it brings something in us called the ego, and the ego is something that is sponsored by the mind. It's it's an illusion created by the mind to letting you believe that you are superior. And I think the issue of superiority is what is bringing conflict around the world, because every other nation wants to be superior over the next one. Every other person wants to be superior over the next one. Every other society wants to be superior. But that is not the essence of humanity. The essence of humanity is to realize that we should coexist. Because if we can't coexist as humans, then there's still a question to be answered as to whether we have fully evolved, whether we've actually evolved beyond animal instincts, the animal instincts in us. So, the issue about the conflict in Russia, I've listened to different media giving analysis on the conflict. For me, I just believe that we've forgotten the basis of our existence as human beings, and we've neglected the natural bond that binds us together as human beings. Because if we actually believe that humanity is based on mutual love and respect for one another, I don't think there will be need for conflict. I don't think there will be need for superiority. I don't think there will be need for wanting to be the top or wanting to be at the top. So we see Russians going through Ukraine. As I am talking to you now, there are people dying in Ukraine, Russians and Ukrainians as well. because there are Russians living in Ukraine too, and so you begin to you begin to wonder what is the issue behind all this fight? Is it that the Russians are scared that the United States wants to incorporate Ukraine to NATO, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization? Or is it that the United States wishes to incorporate Ukraine into NATO because it wants to dominate Russia? And then the Russians said no, because it was all over news that the United States wanted to create a NATO base in Ukraine, just closer to Russia. And these two nations have been rivals for years, and there has been a bitter animosity between these two nations because each one of them wants to have an edge over the next one, over the other. Each want to be the superior power, the superior global power. So in the process, they engage in every kind of malpractice in order to be dominant in the global sphere, in the global political sphere. But then when you engage in activities uh, with the mindset to dominate the other, you trample upon many things, including human beings. And this is what has created conflict in Ukraine. But now, whether A is right or wrong, whether B is right or wrong, there are innocent people dying out there. People who knew nothing about this war, this conflict. Innocent people who are living innocent lives, losing their lives now. At least monies that are used to finance these wars could have been used for something better, for the betterment of the universe. Because trust me, there is too much starvation all over the world. There is too much ignorance all over the world. Those monies could have been used to educate people about peace, about unity, about togetherness. But countries that we consider to be world powers are engaged in subterranean conflicts, are engaged in cold wars, then I wonder what is the fate of the universe, because believe you me, all these countries have that thing called atomic weapons. And if they dare unleash those weapons, there will be a massive destruction all around the world. And the majority that will suffer will be the innocent. Who will have no protection against those missiles, against those weapons. And it is certain that even those who are preaching against these missiles, these weapons, have these weapons, investing billions of dollars in creating these weapons. In my view, there is no justification for conflict, no justification for war, because when war occurs, only few people benefit and the majority suffers. But when there is peace, everybody actually benefits out of peace. And yeah, that's how it's supposed to be. As a conscious human beings, we are not supposed to be engaging in fighting each other. Those are instincts of animals. Since we have evolved and become human beings, I am sure we should think above the self. We should think about the ego. We should think above the self, the mind. We should be in proper control of the mind, because once your mind controls you, you begin to think you are superior. you begin to follow the dictates of your ego. And when we follow the dictates of our ego, wanting to be superior, wanting to be above the next man, then there becomes conflict because every man actually wants respect. Absolutely. Everybody needs respect. And if you dare trample on anyone's respect, then conflict is bound to occur. So it is my view that we respect one another as human beings, as nations too. We should have that mutual respect for one another. Never think, never have this mindset as a leader that your country is superior to the next one, regardless of your economic achievements, regardless of your technological advancements. I just believe that these countries that you think to be lower also have human beings, just as you are. And the issue of you being superior, the issue of I am superior is just a thing that is portrayed by the mind. It lives only in your little mind. But before the divine creator, there is nothing like superiority. Every human being is equal, And if only world leaders begin to think as such, begin to cultivate this mindset that the world is bound to live in peace, then I think there will be abundance for everyone. There will be enough for every man. But you check it out right now. 90% or 98% of the world's wealth, is controlled by 2% of the world population. Yeah, I say this again. 98% of the wealth in the world is controlled by 2% of the world population. So you tell me 98% of the world population living in abject poverty. Why do you think that is happening? It's as a result of our mindset of wanting to be superior. Our mindset, our belief in ego, worshipping our physical being. And I tell you again, this physical being gives no satisfaction. The more we identify with the physical, the more we lose control of the spiritual. And when we lose control of the spiritual, we go back to that animal instinct in us, wanting to fight the other simply because you think he wants to be superior. You think, it might not be the reality, but simply because you think in your little mind that he wants to grow and it becomes a threat to you. This is common in society, you know. Let's break it down. It's common in society among individuals, When your ego is up there, you don't want anyone to grow. When your ego is up there, you feel threatened by anyone's growth. And that is one thing humanity should avoid. That is one thing that is causing war, conflict all over the world. The issue of superiority. America wants to be the best forever. China wants to be the best. Russia wants to be the best. All these countries are creating weapons of mass destruction. So one of these leaders might be mad at any time and unleash these weapons. Imagine the destruction it will cause to humanity. So what is wrong? Where is our morality as human beings? Where is our sense of reasoning as human beings? Where is our sense of respect for one another? Why is there conflict around the world? Is a is an issue that has to do with the mind. The leaders, the mindset of our leaders. World leaders, because these leaders have deviated from their spiritual self, from their spiritual being, and they are now controlled by the mind. And as a human being, Your mind is just a tool, you know. You should not take instruction from the mind. Your mind must take instruction from you. When you begin to take instruction from the mind, you begin to act inappropriately. You begin to act in contrast to human values. You begin to act in violation to natural phenomenon, because tell me, why must you destroy a human life? Why must human beings destroy human life? What is the essence? What do we gain from destroying human life? You see, there are conflicts going all around the world. Conflict all around the world. Conflict in Ukraine, conflict in Pakistan, conflict in Yemen, conflict in Libya, conflict in South Sudan, conflict in Nigeria, all around. As if the world is governed by animals, because it's hard to imagine that human beings are actually in control of all these countries. Can you imagine how many people have lost their lives in this conflict? It's unprecedented, and it's sad as a human being to see other human beings dying. Where is respect for life? Where is the love for life? Where is respect for humanity? Where is the value for the human life? Why is it that world leaders cannot be conscious enough to cultivate this fact that life is bound to exist? Every life matters in this universe. Every life must exist until it departs, until it leaves this body, because this body is not actually life. This body is just a vehicle driving the life. And so we must have sanctity for life as human beings. You check out what is happening in Ukraine. People losing their lives because certain countries want to be superior, because certain countries interfere with certain countries' domestic affairs, all in the name of superiority, all in the name of wanting to be the best, all in the name of wanting to be at the top, all in the name of wanting to control world affairs, all in the name of wanting to be global police. Human beings are being destroyed. Life is being destroyed all over. I'm here now. I'm living in a very peaceful environment, and but I'm not comfortable. I'm not comfortable because other people are dying out there. Other people are dying all over the world.